Hello, Ira.
Hello.
This is my first podcast. Thanks for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for inviting me.
It means a lot to me. You're someone I look up to a lot in fitness and just being a better coach. And I know as a struggling college student who wants to make it in the kinesiology field as a whole, I have a lot that I want to share with other people as I'm learning, because I feel like this is such a rediscovered field, honestly, and not enough people put enough emphasis on it. And when you tell someone you're studying kinesiology, what are the two things that come to mind?
When you study kinesiology, working out and athletes.
Yeah.
That's for first two things.
See, most people think when I tell them like I'm going to school for kinesiology, they either think I'm going to be a physical therapist,
Oh,
an athletic trainer, or I have to be in medicine.
gotcha. I mean, I can see where I get that from. I
Yeah.
get that. No,
Yeah.
I hear that.
And so I wanted to just branch out, be able to start talking to people that work in this field. So can you kind of tell me about what you do and where your journey started?
Yeah. So what I do is I'm a boxing coach for now, at least.
So sad.
Yes, so sad. Our club is closing down, unfortunately. But
Yes.
I am a boxing coach, and I've been doing that for the past 2 years, 2.5 years. And I also work out quite often. Quite often. It used to be
Quite
so much
regimentally as well. Like some of the workouts you've done and showed me, and I'm like, no, no. I like
okay.
to work out, but no.
A lot of my friends say no to me too,
Yes.
so it's okay.
Yes.
And where it started, it definitely started my athletic background as far as like being in sports, playing football my entire life, and
Yeah.
so we kind of had to work out. And
Yeah.
my dad had us working out even when I was like 7 or 8 years old, trying to bench press and things like that, following
it.
whatever he did. So
Got it.
yeah.
So, out of curiosity, you said you were an athlete. So, was working out always a love, or was it more like a chore at first?
It was somewhat of a chore at first, but then I began to love it because watching my dad do it over time, it's like, oh, I kind of want to be like my dad here in this situation.
Yeah.
He's really strong. I want to be really strong. So then
Yes.
it became something that I love after watching him.
When would you say you, like, a time that you felt like you fell in love with, like, working out? Because you said you have a background in athletics. So, with that background in athletics, just for the information, Ira he was a college football player. So, like, he went to the next level. Only 8% of high school players take it to that next level. So that can be very demanding on a college like schedule. Like you're working out 3 hours of your day with strength conditioning, and then you have 2-hour practices, not to mention when you have film time. That can be really draining on the soul, and really like you kind of lose that passion. So
You bring me back to some old times.
yes. So with that being said, kind of thinking like post athlete, when did you figure out like, because was there a time period where you just didn't want to work out after college athletics?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, like it just kind of drained you to the point you weren't
Yeah,
really.
I just needed a break.
Yeah, and so when did you find that passion again outside of sports?
Yeah. Outside of sports, it was something that I feel like I needed to pick back up just because it was something that made me feel like I still had my attachment to sports, and that's kind of going to like a deeper part of
Not
things
finding
that happen.
identity.
You're right, identity and things like that, and so that was an issue. But I would say it probably came like 6-7 months after I got done playing. So I was still coaching and whatnot, so I still could work out and do whatever I wanted to, but the working out, it wasn't really like a huge thing. But then like 6-7 months later, I was like, all right, I got to keep doing this because I got to stay in shape. I want to still be athletic and things like that. So.
Still athletic. You're always an athlete once you're an athlete, is what like my old coaches used to tell me, and I never believed that until I started doing my own workouts again, and I just started adding plyometrics to my workouts because I've just been researching the importance of them and how much they actually impact our daily lives. And I was like, okay, so here I am doing box jumps, and I'm like, what am I doing a box jump for?
What are you preparing for?
Yeah, like what am I doing this for?
What are you getting ready for?
And I'm like, oh, just to be, I don't know. Personally, my own fitness is always about like functional fitness. It's something I've been like really prioritizing. But you said you're a boxing coach, and you've been doing it for 2.5 years. Did you ever see yourself becoming a coach when you were an athlete?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think I became like a GA coach, like whatever. After as soon as I got done, because I had another semester of school.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I had 2 more semesters of school. The semester after football season, then the following semester of football season, and after that, I kind of got asked to coach a high school football team, and I was like, sure. This is not ultimately what I wanted to do, but I actually fell in love with doing it.
Yeah.
Kind of fell in love with coaching. That coaching journey kind of took me to different things of me being a head track coach, and doing that for like 3 years of football coaching and things.
Didn't even know you were a track coach.
Yes.
I like the football, that absolutely made sense, but the track one, that took me back for a second. Like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's
a lot
cool.
of my workouts actually are like track inspired as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you definitely do a lot of cardiovascular training compared to strength training, whereas I'm like on the strength end, and when I noticed that, I'm like, good for you, I hate cardio.
A lot of people do, but it helped me a lot doing football. So I actually did not like track when I was in high school. However, by my junior or senior year, I started to love it. We actually won like this 4x2, and
oh heck yeah!
and, like,
Once you start winning stuff, you just get like that.
Oh yeah, you got excited. So it became a real thing for me. So, but I also realized how much faster I got doing track, and how much fun I started to have with the guys that I was with. And I was like, okay, I got to keep these workouts going. I got to keep my conditioning up.
Yeah, valid. I had the same thing where I was an athlete for winter and spring. So I was a basketball and softball player, and so in the fall, I picked up cross country. Yeah, I just.
You one of those.
Yeah.
See, that's a whole different ball game right there.
But you know, my other sports, like minus like softball is like a pretty slow pace. It's gonna be a fast reaction, but like it's not continually, like kind of like where football you have breaks.
Yeah.
It's just like you're gonna put out an out power for like maybe 10 to 15 seconds, and then the play's over.
I enjoy those breaks.
Yeah,
I needed
no.
those.
And so where cross country, I played basketball, so I needed endurance. So I was like thinking cross country, you know, run it out, let's get it, let's go. Oh, it was horrible. It was the worst 3 years of my life.
Yeah, I respect it. I honestly believe that it was the worst 3 years of your life. See, and I legitimately do not think that anybody actually enjoyed your sport if you ran cross country.
No, and there was a few of them that were like gung-ho cross-country kids. Like that was their sport, was running. Like they did it track, and they did long distance and track, and they did long distance cross-country running. And this one kid, I remember he came to practice one day and he had a shirt and it said, he literally was and it was a Nike shirt, and it was like, my sport is your sport's punishment. And I was like, bruh, you right. And I was like, I'm just here because my basketball coach will like me better the first 2 weeks of practice when I'm better conditioned than the other kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, no. But bringing it back to your amazing coaching style, crazy that you were, I did not know that, tracking. What do you think developed your coaching style? Like, what is your coaching style? I've seen it, but like, obviously no one, unless they've taken your boxing classes, would know like you're energetic. But like, what else would you say about it?
Challenging for sure.
Yes.
I love being the person that challenges other people. Like that's something that I've kind of picked up from other coaches that I've been coached by, but also the way that I love to be coached as well too. All right, and so I've been in the area or the under leadership that I've kind of been coached where you get dog cussed out and things like that. But I've also been in the leadership to where you've been like encouraged the entire time. Yeah. Right, and so I don't cuss my people. I do not do that. I don't cuss at them, but I do encourage and challenge and push them because loving them hard, you know, it's kind of the way that I like to put it sometimes. Like, I know it sucks, but you're going to appreciate it, you know, at the end of the day when you're better.
So I just coached last night, you know, like the whole class was just my friends. Like it was really nice that they all came up and supported since our gym is closing. Yeah. But they know how important coaching and that's going to be my career one day. And something they said that was so funny is like, they were like, you don't probably act this way when you coach normally, do you? And I said, for the most part, yes. Yeah. I don't. And they were like, but you're out here calling me out when I'm not doing my plank right. Yeah, brother. Yeah. A real coach is gonna call you out.
That's what happens. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Yes, and then they're just like, but you didn't do it to where like I felt bad about it. You just did it to a way that I was like, yeah, better do this before JoJo come back around.
There's a conviction there.
Yeah,
and that's good. That's what people need to feel.
Yes. And so just a little bit of like, I respect them enough, I'm gonna push myself. You know,
exactly
like that's what you're aiming for.
Exactly what's needed. And you learn from every person is different how they need to be coached. Like there's some people where I don't call you out.
Yeah.
Because I can't call you out over the mic, because of course we wear our headphones and things like that. I don't want to call you out with this mic, so I'm going to pull the mic back and say, hey, dude, start doing this.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I need you to push harder.
Yeah.
Right? Because some people don't respond to getting called out in front of everybody. Some people do respond better to it. And I make sure I try to make a little bit of a joke out of it as I'm calling you out as well too. Hey, you better do this, or everybody's got this with you.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to push each other, and I just kind of make fun.
Make it teamwork.
Yeah, make it a teamwork thing.
Absolutely. So what was like something I've always been told in like developing my coaching style is just to be authentic to who you are. Would you say that your coaching style is very authentic, or do you feel like sometimes, because sometimes like you're having a bad day, you can't let all these people that are depending on you to encourage them to be better, you can't let that affect how you're coaching them.
Right.
Like if you're having that terrible day.
Yeah.
Would you say even on your bad days, like you're authentically who you are when you coach?
Absolutely. It's because Title is a lot like family here, and the people know when you're having a bad day. Like they ask, like, hey, like, how are you doing today? Like, you good? I don't lie to them. I'm just like, no, today's not the best day. I was like, I'm doing all right. We're making it, you know. But when it comes to coaching and as far as challenging them and getting them on track, they're encouraging me when it becomes to coaching, right?
Yeah.
Usually, like if I'm having a great day, I start out really energetic, you know, talking nonstop, laughing, joking, dancing. If I'm having a bad day, then it's more of a like, hey, a mellow type of like, hey, let's get this going, let's get this going. And as they're going hard or they're going soft, then it's like, all right, I'm picking up my energy as they're picking up their energy.
Yes.
As we're going through the rounds, it's like, okay, now I'm up because I'm with my people now.
Yes.
Right?
By round 8, because there is 8 rounds at Title Boxing. Come finish a class with us before December 23rd.
Be here.
Be here. Yes, 10 a.m. December 23rd too. Anyways.
Nice plug.
Thanks. But like, there's 8 rounds of boxing, so by round 8, you're just so like. Sometimes when I know for me, when I come in and I start coaching and I'm having the greatest day and I'm not really thrilled, and then I see one of my regulars that are in my class. First of all, that brightens my day, anyways, because I'm like, if they can show up, I can show up.
It's the community of it, and your people like helping you build yourself up.
Yes.
All right.
So what would you say is a little bit different in your coaching style compared to like here at Title, where it was voluntary, compared to like as a coach for a team where they know like, hey, I have to be here at this time, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But so they're not going to always come in with that positive energy like most of the people that come into our gym here at Title. Like they come in with, they're ready, they're like ambitious, they're ready to get it done, or like they're ready to get all their worries, leave it on the bag kind of energy. What would you say about like how the difference of coaching is when you have kids that are there and like they don't really care that they have to be there today, they're just, I'm going through the motions.
Yeah, you kind of get that a lot, especially during, well, any sport that is, but when you're like halfway in the season or a little bit towards the end of the season, and regardless of how your season looks, you can be going undefeated, or you can be like 0 and whatever. You know, you can be middle of the pack, 5-5, whatever it may be. Like they come in like that, and it's honestly, my coaching style doesn't really change between those two. It's because it's still the encouragement.
Yes.
Because there's days where the people here that come to Title are exhausted. They just had a long work day, and it's just like, I don't want to be here, but I know I need to be here. For those kids, it's like, I don't want to be here right now, but you know, I kind of want to be here right now, because it's still, at the end of the day, it's their choice to be there unless their parents was forcing them to be there. So it didn't really change. It's just encouragement and finding out what do you want while you're here? What do you care about? And kind of getting you to realize like, hey, this is what I'm here for, and let's push towards that. So let's have fun while we're doing this. Because I made them laugh a lot when I was coaching football and track. Made them a lot and challenged them a lot, right? So it's like, I either like, hey, if you guys get this done by this time, then I'll have to do this for punishment. But if you don't get it done, then this practice is gonna be rough for y'all. And so just challenging them in different ways and making them get better in the ways they really don't want to or thinking about doing it, but they're just saying like, hey, I don't want to do this punishment, or like, hey, this is fun, like I'm gonna give all I have. So it doesn't really change for me when it comes to coaching those high school kids compared to the people that are here, because as adults we're just kind of grown kids sometimes.
No, I feel that. Like I'm just a young adult myself, so 22, and my coaching experiences are pretty pretty different than yours because this is like my first like working with people older than me.
Yeah.
I've had the experience of doing that strength and conditioning internship with LSU. Then I was working with people of my same age. Before that, my coaching experience was 8 to like 12U softball, which is very, very difficult because my personality obviously changes. My coaching style is going to change here. I'm going to be really energetic, really encouraging. Whereas like when I coach little kids, like first of all, you got to round them up. At 8U, like you got to round them up. You got to put that discipline in. You got to get those cues in. Though, like I remember the first time I had to explain to them no walking on my field. Oh my gosh. They were like, what? Like if I said no walking in this, like as we're doing a boxing class, like they'd be like, heard. Like
that,
I know, like I know what's coming next. Wall sits.
Yeah.
If I ain't running, I'm wall sitting. But whereas like to teach an 8-year-old, like there's consequences.
Kids try you a lot more.
They do.
Like adults do it from time to time, but kids really try you. And it's like, yo, my patience is wear thin.
Yeah. No, and then they ask you the most out-of-pocket questions that don't even pertain to what you're doing. All the time.
Oh my gosh, the amount of times of practice in those high school like study films or whatever, they ask a question, I'm just like, son, what?
Where's your brain at? It's not in the game right now.
It's not in the game. It's not in the study film. Like, what are you talking about?
What are we doing? No. So, like, I know, like, it's different. Like, so you say yours didn't change, but I've seen, like, I can see both sides where, like, it's easy for your coaching style to stay pretty consistent, but also, like, within demographics, like, it have to, like, change some.
Absolutely.
So, since I look up to you for such an amazing coach, I mean, you're a head coach here at Title. There's a reason why you bring the energy, but you also challenge people. What would your recommendation? This is the last question, I promise.
Oh, no, you're fine.
What would you recommend to someone that's looking to start coaching, whether it be at some crazy level, like professionally, or here where it matters? Like, I think these clubs like these matter. Like, and it's so sad that we're saying goodbye to ours, but like this is such an like crucial step to my development. What would you recommend to someone who's starting out coaching?
I would definitely say have fun. that would be first and foremost, but you definitely have to work hard. And so if you can't have fun while working hard, then you probably shouldn't be in that field.
Yes.
Right? Because it is a lot. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say like, oh no, it's super easy. All you gotta do is no. It's a lot, and if you let it get on top of you, then you will probably quit. Very soon. It's not for the weary, but having fun with it and enjoying yourself, but also like learning as much as you can. Right, and just continue to be flexible, continue to be coachable, right? Because just because you've learned something one way does not necessarily mean that you need to keep doing it that way, because the way that you're doing it may not be working.
I love that you said, even though I asked you a question about coaching, that you said to still be coachable, because that's like something, especially when I first started out into this, I was like, I need to know it all now before I can even share with other people. And I remember when I took that little break and I had to come back to, because mental health matters, guys.
Yes.
When I had to take that little break and I came back and I was hired on as a coach, like I still did not, like I still can't do a roundhouse kick, like
neither can I.
So like to be able to understand that like I can still share that knowledge at this point in my life to make their life better too. You know, like, and like you're always gonna grow in understanding that coaching is like, it's like you're not, just because you have that title doesn't mean you know everything.
Right.
That's like something I thought I had to know everything first before I took that position.
Absolutely not, and that's why I actually wanted to put you in that position. It was because I know you didn't know anything, but because you were coachable and doing it and progressing, right? And no one, if I ever try to hire somebody who feels like they just know everything and can't be coached, then I'm not hiring them.
Yeah, valid.
Right, because they're not trying to learn anymore. No coach, no very successful coach just goes in and say, I know everything, there's nothing you can tell me.
No, yes.
They're still actively trying to get better. Even Nick Saban. I know a lot of people do not like Nick Saban because he's at Alabama. I get it. I understand it. right? But you can't deny what that man has been doing.
Yeah.
And he continues to learn and grow,
Yes.
right? He continues to adapt his coaching style as well, too, for
Yes.
what he needs to for each of those kids.
Yeah.
So it's just continue to be, like I said, continue to be coachable and adapted. You're never going to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to keep learning.
Oh, yeah. That perfectionism in me is going to get there. But thank you, Coach Ira, for coming on my podcast. It means a lot.
Absolutely, girl.
Yes.